Hello everyone, this is Bentley, and today we're going to do episode 3 of Tank of the Week, and we're going to feature the Fluval Flex. This is the 15-gallon version that sits behind my desk. So when you see me on a live stream, or some of the times when I'm sitting at my desk talking to you, and you see that tank in the background, this is the tank that I almost never show, really, outside of just, it's kind of something in the background. It's had a few changes since the last time I talked about it. With that being said, let's dive into this thing and show you exactly what's going on inside my personal tank for my bedroom. Alright, so here we are in the tank. You can see it's pretty simple, but there's a good mix of plants in here. So this is just the Fluval Flex with all it comes with, plus a heater, so it's all the built-in filtration, the same light, nothing special. And then what I've done is I've put Echo Complete as my substrate in here, and there's a little bit of crushed coral mixed in. And then beyond that, it's all just crypts and 2 melon swords. It was originally 1, but that one grew a child plant. So let's talk about some of the crypts that are in here. Up the very front, there's a little bit of crypt lutea, as well as crypt parva. And then as we kind of go, we're going to start in the far right. And there's got this here, the point of my finger, is crypt cordata. Then right here is crypt Wendetii tropica, which you can see the kind of bronze color it's got. Back behind that is the main melon sword. To the side of that is the other melon sword. And in the far back is just a Wendetii green. Then if we come over this way, right in here, it's kind of hard to see. There's this little crypt right here. That's crypt costata. So there's a difference between the two. Then back here, this kind of bigger crypt. That is crypt lutea green hobbit. And then back there is another Wendetii, just a bronze. And finally, it's kind of small at the moment. Or I'm sorry. This green one back here, this is Wendetii green gecko. Over here, between these two crypts, there's a small crypt. That's the lutea green hobbit. You have to forgive me on that one. It's kind of a mixture. I set this up a long time ago, and it's kind of easy to forget which crypt is where. I have to sit and stare at them often to remind myself which one is which. And that's pretty much it. This tank is very, very simple. Nothing too crazy. But let's talk about the fish. So you see him kind of flirting about in here. These are Melanitania melandas, which it's technically not a name species, but these are the melandas from Wallace Road. There's something that calls them melanda gold, even though this fish shows a lot of like red and orange, kind of a rusty color. Very, very pretty fish. It is kind of later at night, so they're not showing full color. You'll notice their body shape's a little different. They're not quite as round. They have kind of a ribbed pattern almost in their head, which might be hard to see on camera. But they act more like a pseudomagil, rather than like big color displays and like a head stripe. They'll splay their fins all the way out and dance around each other in circles like pseudomagills do. And this is as big as they get. They're a dwarf rainbow. But that's just like the Running River rainbow. These have basically been saved. They're the current project of the Rainbow Conservation Fund. Very, very cool fish. I got these from Dean. There's 5 males and 1 female. That was the last of what he had left. And they're actually doing really good in this tank. They've really liked it. They're very, very active. They spend a lot of time playing in the crypts and the sword. And then just as a cleaning crew, there's a couple of autosynclus and 2 reticulated SAEs who eventually will probably leave this tank, but there was a bit of algae going on for a while. I wanted them as some extra cleanup crew. Now that it's pretty balanced, they probably can go somewhere else. But that is basically it. This is going to be a really short one for your tank of the week, guys, just because it's such a simple tank. It's just a Fluval Flex 15-gallon. I really like this tank. I especially like the kind of reverse bow front, where instead of the curve happening from left to right, it happens up and down. It makes for a really pretty viewing angle. And as an all-in-one kit, it's pretty good. The light is good for low-tech plants. I have done CO2 in one of these before, and it's not quite enough light for like super good red plants like your Rotalas and stuff, but you could grow some of the easier plants faster and get better color out of them, like Crypts, under this kind of light. It's really good for basically Nubius, Java Ferns, Crypts, and some of the simple swords. You just leave it on a lot longer. It does great. And then the back of the filtration unit is super easy to clean. I really like it. I think I got mine on Amazon originally. I'll even have a link to one down below if you're really interested. But I think this is one of the cooler tanks that Fluval's put out. And, it's pretty simple. The lights can do all sorts of stuff. But for me, this is the tank that I enjoy. A lot of you who've been watching for a while probably ask, where's Tails? Tails used to be in this tank. He's no longer in this tank. He's no longer in this house. He's kind of moved on. So, unfortunately, I lost him to something. I'm not really sure what. One day he was eating very well. He was doing very healthy. The next day I kind of lost him, and I'm not really sure. Now, I did get him from like a PetSmart, so he's not like the greatest betta in the world. But it was one of those things where I went in there specifically for a type of flake food that was out at my normal place. And I saw one beta that kind of captured my heart, took him home. Who knows how old he actually was. That being said, really hope you guys have enjoyed this dive into the tank. We'll come back to my face, we'll talk for a little bit, and we'll be done.
Well, here you go, guys. There's a simple tour of my 15-gallon Fluval Flex. As you can tell, I'm taking full advantage of how this all-in-one system is designed. I've picked low-light plants, I've picked very easy plants, stuff that I don't have to maintain very often, so that I can just let it sit there, do my water changes, clean the filter, and be done with it. Nothing too crazy. And yet, at the same time, I have a very rare rainbow fish inside this tank, so it's kind of weird, but it's there basically for my enjoyment. So let me know down in the comments, what is your maybe favorite plant, favorite fish? You pick. Tell me what about this tank you like the most. Maybe you didn't like it at all. If you did like this tank, give me a thumbs up maybe. If not, hit that thumbs button down twice, just to let me know how much you hated that. If you're not a subscriber, one thing I want to keep in mind, on the community tab, this is where I let you guys vote on which tanks you get to see in Tank of the Week. So, consider subscribing because that gives you the ability to vote, participate, and more importantly, steer exactly what you're going to see on this channel. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and stay awesome. You good over there? Okay.